Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Nabwila Wekati. I am a Kenyan girl who recently relocated to Canada. I shared 5 essential tips for anyone who wishes to move here or has plans of moving here or is moving here and is just wondering where to begin. I have 5 more tips that I'm about to share with you guys, so you guys stay tuned. Before we proceed, have you watched the previous video? If you haven't, you better go back and watch, because this is a continuation of a video that I already did. I didn't want it to be very lengthy, so that's why I split it into 2. So I did the first 5 points and I'm going to do another 5 points. So we're just going to jump to point number 6. I hope you have your pen and your notepad, because these are very important. I mean, it's only important if you plan to relocate or you plan to come to Canada, or you already have your ticket waiting. So, and it only applies if you're relocating. If you're visiting, probably not, but you might just want to know what happens here. So point number 6 is the job market reality. Job market reality and networking. Knowing the local job market really helps you when you're searching for a job. So like these different job search engines like Search Jobs, Indeed.com, Job Bank, and there's also networking. And you know what, guys, like, I'm not even gonna lie, even back at home, for you to get a job, it's always easier when you know someone who knows someone. And maybe by like your network and talking to people, you're gonna explain to people that, you know what, I studied law, and they're gonna say, oh, okay, I know someone who is in the same field as you, and I can hook you up to someone, talk to this person, and that's how it helps. And it's the same here, because even the job that I'm doing right now, it was through knowing someone who knows someone. So for the job market, there's definitely expectations versus reality. I was getting up and I was like, oh, I'm very close to you guys. Nitatokea kwa screen, sitaki kutokea kwa screen. So acha nisonge vinyuma kidogo. I always play. Anyway, oh, what am I supposed to say? Anyway, so many newcomers come with very high expectations. You're like, you know what? I am a doctor. I'm about to land there and start operating on those people. It doesn't work like that. When you come here, some of your credentials might not even work for a new country. So you really have to research and know if your academic credentials do match. So they might not also be recognized immediately. You may need additional training, additional certification, and additional licensing to be able to practice whatever you did. And so you won't just sit there and say, you know what, I'm gonna sit and wait for the time that my papers will be making sense. You might need to do something else while you wait. And then another, that's just some of the hurdles that you face, like your certificates not being recognized by like some jobs. Maybe you studied as a teacher, but it's not recognized, and they want you to take another certificate for you to be able to like do that. And then, like I said, you need people to refer you to places, because you will definitely, there's a loud vehicle passing, and I don't know if you guys are getting me because I'm not using a microphone. I hope you guys are getting me. So like, you need to network and get like referrals from different people. So definitely you're gonna meet people who have been here for longer. Hey, English. You're gonna meet people who've been here longer, and they know like the roots. They know the Panya roots. It takes time, but it's definitely worth it. When you settle in and you get all the right documents, you're gonna love it. And then when you're living in a bigger city, it's more competitive than when you're living in a smaller city. You know, I'm checking my thing and it looks like it's slanted. I don't know if it is. I'm just gonna. see. Yeah, it's still doing the same thing, and it's gonna be a bit hard for me to fix that. So maybe I shouldn't be looking at myself. Maybe I should be looking at the camera so that I focus and finish. Okay. So finding jobs outside big cities is better than it's easier than finding jobs in bigger cities, because in bigger cities there's competition and you might be running around with your CV like a rat on the highway trying to find a job, and it's just hard. But in a smaller city, the market isn't as flooded. And then there's something called survival jobs for newcomers. Survival jobs mostly are hospitality, customer service, like being a front desk admin, like being in hospitality, doing housekeeping, help, like being a kitchen assistant. These are jobs that can help you when you get here, like even in hospitals, like being in customer service, being housekeeper. These are things that do not require you to have like lots of certifications, and they can really help you. And being a server, like that's one of the things that can also help you while you wait for your papers to align. You can do that because it will help you cover your expenses. You don't want to sit and wait for your actual job. So, and another thing, you're going to get something called Canadian work experience. Like if you have the work experience, it's easier for employers to trust you, and like it increases your value. So when you get here, you're supposed to start working immediately so that like you have the work experience and you start like moving, and it will also help you with networking because you'll be knowing people and you will be knowing the language and you'll be knowing how to interact with Canadians. Another thing is like joining groups, like volunteering to do something, sports, like joining a golf club or joining any sport that you want, and attending local events that will help you with networking and getting jobs. Another thing is just managing your expectations, because most of us, when we are back at home, we just think, I'll get to Canada, I'll get a job, I'll get a 6-figure, like my bank will be fat, I'll be driving my dream car, and I'll be living in a very posh house, and this will happen and that will happen, and I'll have a lot of money. Yeah, you just have to leave that mentality. Hapo JKIA. Ukifika hapo, kwa heri Kenya, unawacha hizo vitu huko. Unavuka, ukuje uanze kudeal na reality kwenye ground. So we're done with point number 6, and we're going to point 7, which is gathering all your essential paperwork. We talked about academic credentials. So your academic credentials are part of your essential paperwork. So if you want to come and find a job and you have already gone through the immigration process and you're moving here, make sure you have your papers, because some employers might need you to have that. And when you're just making any application and you're traveling, sometimes they don't only require your passport, they might require some documentation when you're traveling. So make sure to have that, and use a document checklist that you get from immigration, and make sure to check everything that is on that list. Go through everything, make sure you have everything. And if you are applying to move, make sure you send all your documents on time. That's one of the mistakes I used to make. Like I used to relax just thinking this is Kenya. Like I don't need to say that, but just, the way we have most of our things really relaxed, and we know I'm just gonna walk into that office and they're gonna do things for me. It's different here because they really live by the book. Like if something is supposed to happen on this day at this time, it better come on that time. If you delay, hakuna ati aki nilisahau ama nini. You have to have everything on time, and every document that's requested, make sure to have that sent in good time. And then we're gonna go to point number 8. Unaona vile sasa saizi tunaenda tu mbio, points zina flow. Ala, kwani niko na Mwakenya? Adjusting expectations of living standards. That's our point number 8. Adjusting expectations of living standards. Like I told you guys, it really be looking nice in the movies, but this is reality. It's not a movie. So life may be different from the one that's idealized. Big English, right? From the one that's idealized in the media. So I'll just break down the, what's it called? A realistic day in the life in Canada. And I think we should do a vlog, but I'm not so sure I want to bring you guys to that intimately. So anyway, we will think about it. Though I'm not so good at doing vlogs, so I've not started doing vlogs a lot, but we will get there. So point number 1 in like adjusting your expectations of living standards is the work-life balance. You know, we always think Canada just offers jobs that I'm gonna work for 2 hours and get enough money, and then I'm gonna rest for the rest of the day. I'll be visiting different places and taking pictures and vlogging. It's not like that. Many people work for long hours here. Like if you want to achieve your goals and be able to live a comfortable life, you're definitely gonna work for long hours, especially if you're in healthcare, maybe hospitality sometimes, trades, tech. You're gonna spend most of your time at work and very little time at home. And it's very common to work overtime here, and it's also common to have multiple jobs just to make ends meet, especially in the first few years, because you're just trying to settle down and you know you're not okay financially. You want to shape things up, so you might end up having 2 or even 3 jobs. Another thing is the cost of living. The salary or the wages are higher, but that doesn't guarantee financial comfort. The wages are higher here than they are back at home, but that doesn't mean you have a lot of money, because salaries are high and utilities are high as well. So budgeting is very essential, and in larger cities it's crazier than in smaller cities. So if you are just moving here, you better start from a smaller city so that you can budget and understand how things work before moving to a bigger city where it's faster paced. And you also need to know about the weather seasons and changes. You know, when you're a newcomer, you're excited, you can't wait to see your first snowfall. I was like that in 2020. I was like, hey, nataka tu kuona snow, yani mimi nishike snow, mimi na Bwile wa Kimpungi nishike snow. You know how that is exciting. So temperatures drop up to negative 30 degrees. And so it's exciting. It's very beautiful in pictures until you are there in that snow and in that winter. It is very cold. So that dressing up and having shorter days, like saa 11 musilo kabisa, yani nje imekuwa giza kabisa. I wish ningekuanga najua kuongea Kibukusu vizuri. Ningekuwa na ongea tu Kibukusu kwa hizi videos. Like silima ndo ni silima, inaitwa silima. Yani silima si ati lipsa asi, lipsa emaleti enje yamalie t. Outside is very dark, like my shirt like this, and it's like 5 p.m. going to 6 p.m. unashanga what's going on. And then you have to buy winter gears. You have to prepare yourself mentally for the cold weather, and that's not easy for newcomers. So, you know, that's another thing that you need to adjust. And then another thing is building friendship community. We always think, I'll just move, I'm gonna make friends, it's gonna be easy. Oh, tell me why I don't have friends till this time. I still don't have friends. I still don't have friends. Unajua yenye umetoka job, unataka kupigia rafiki yako muongee, ama unasema bethe nimetoka job, can we meet up for coffee? Vile tukua tumezoea kufanya Nairobi, like tupitie Java, tukunywe chai, ama tupitie number 7 tukunywe cocktails, ama tupitie somewhere tukule ice cream. There's really nothing like that. You spend most of your time at work and unarudi tu kwa nyumba unakuwa hivi peke yangu kama mimi. Sasa unaanza kujiongelesha kwa kamera hivi, halafu watu wawili peke yake ndo wana watch. Anyways, yeah, so it can be straining on your mental health, like when the weather changes and everything and you're not used to that. You're used to like having the same temperatures across the year. Like mimi natoka Kenya, because natoka Bungoma, perfect weather all the time. And then job search. We have already talked about job searching, and I've already told you what happens. You might need to go to school, you might need to like do everything to upgrade that. And then there's the healthcare system. I'm gonna talk about the healthcare system on another topic because it's quite different from what we have at home. And then public transport. I live in a smaller town. There's only 2 buses. Moja mbili. There's only 2 buses in this town. So kama hauna dinga, unaweza hangaika kweli kweli. Unaweza hangaika, uhangaike. Kama hauna mtu wa kukuzungusha, utahangaika. Heri tu afadhali uolewe. Ndio kwenda mtu mwenye anakupatia rights kila mali. And then another thing that you have to adapt with is another thing that you have to adapt to. I think the points are a bit mixed up, but we're gonna get there. Cultural diversity. Adjusting takes time. Adapting takes time. Well, there's different people in here, like there's different communities, because Canada is so welcoming and like on our tofauti, but it's gonna take you so much time. Can you imagine? There's one thing that's very common in Kenya. Kama mtu wako mbele yako na hamove, tell me you're driving and then there's someone in front of you, there's a car in front of you. See, of course utafinya tu beep, toka mbele yangu. Do you know doing that here is illegal? You are not supposed to use your honi. Inaitwa nini? Honking. Inaitwa honi. Ama inaitwa nini? You're not supposed to use your honi like that, because that's being aggressive. Sasa kama omundu ke khalebsanga mandasi in front of you, you have to be polite. Just wewe si tunaambiwanga you're the only sober driver. Be polite, lakini usimpigie honi hivi. Unless tu ni ilikuwa lazima, but when you do that it's aggressive. Sasa unaona kuna vitu tofauti zenye tuna have kwa just kwazo. Unasikia kizungu kweli ama msikina Kiswahili na changanya. Unaona kukua Mluya, kizungu inatokea kwa Kiswahili alafu Kibukusu sasa ndio inashikilia. Anyway, we're going to number 9. If my family is watching this, number 9 means a lot to us. So we are at on point number 9. Understanding health insurance options. I told you guys I was gonna go back to health because it's a wider topic, so let's get into it. So understanding health insurance options. When you get here, I live in Saskatchewan, so I'm gonna talk about Saskatchewan. When you get here in Saskatchewan and you're a resident, you are eligible to the provincial health insurance plan. It is free and it covers many essential services: doctor's visits and hospital services, emergency medical services, diagnostic services, e.g. lab and x-ray. Those, like your health card takes care of that because the province takes care of that. Like, yeah, you're covered. So another thing that I'm gonna talk about is prescription drugs. You know, like you go and then you're diagnosed of like malaria, you have your health card and you go get your prescriptions. Not everything is covered, but most drugs are actually not covered, but some drugs are covered by your health insurance. And The Saskatchewan Drug Plan offers assistance for seniors and children and people with chronic conditions. So they assist you, like they waive some of your bills. Okay? Then there's extended health insurance plans. Dental care, eye exams, and physiotherapy aren't covered by the insurance, so you have to get that privately. But some employers actually cover your dental care, and if not, you have to buy an extended health insurance plan for yourself and for your family. And then another thing is supplemental plans. Saskatchewan has programs for low-income families and seniors offering assistance for medications and certain health care costs. That's very self-explanatory. I just read through it. Ndio pia nisiwachoshe na kukapa kwa hii video 70 hours. Let me just check to see if I have any other points here. No. So I'm going to the last point, which is building a credit history. Point 10 of the essential tips you need to know when moving to Canada. So this is point 10. And just a second, guys. Oh, okay. Just kidding. I got it. So point 10 is building a credit history. This is important even in Kenya to build a credit history. So first thing you need to do as a newcomer is to open a bank account, because hata ukilipwa unafaa kwenda kupeleka, na kuna watu wanasemanga kuchukua pesa yako kwa bank, but mimi nasema kupeleka, like to take, they say kuchukua but some of us say tunapeleka. So anyways, open a bank account, then you can apply for a secured credit card. I don't have so many details. Mimi mathematics too. Skwangi niko na keen eye on them, but I'm just learning slowly. But I'm just gonna tell you guys like some of the points that you need to do, like to build a credit history. And then you're supposed to use your regular credit card responsibly. So if you get like an unsecured credit card, you have to use it wisely. Only charge what you can afford to pay off monthly. Like kama uko na credit card, you have to pay. You like unakuwa na hizo small loans, like you make sure you pay on time, like on due date una pay. That helps grow your credit score. And then the best thing to do is set up an auto pay, so that if you're supposed to like pay for your credit card on the 20th, it just deducts from your checking account or whatever account you decide to put it in, so that it builds your credit score. Because you can forget to clear that payment, alafu sasa itakani kama wewe ni mkora, hautaki kulipa madeni, ama you're not like just disciplined with your credit card. And then pay your bills on time, like utilities, like say your phone, internet, rent. Sometimes they report to the credit agencies. So if you pay on time, it boosts your credit score. Mimi, Leo, I was talking to the company that I'm subscribed on for my phone plan, and I was asking them, so which date of the month, what's my billing cycle, and when am I supposed to be paying my bill, because I do not want to be asked twice. And they told me it's the 28th. So your 28th, nafaa kuwa na lipa bili yangu ya simu, ndio itanisaidia na my credits in future. And then another thing is keep your credit utilization low. Say you have 1,000, always keep it below 300. Unaelewa? Like usikwe like balance ikwe always below 300. Like usikwe una exceed 300, umeenda uko 600, 500, 700. That really shakes your credit score. And then you're supposed to check your credit report regularly, so that kila kitu iko sawa. Na hiyo tu inaanza na vitu ndogo ndogo kama paying for your phone, paying your rent on time. Like my rent, like you're supposed to pay between 1st and 4th, but I always make sure to pay on the 1st to avoid any issues with my landlord as well. And that really helps me with my credit history. Guys, we are done talking. Nimeongea kweli. Dakika 30 naongea tu peke yangu. Anyway, so what else would you guys like to know? Do you have any questions? Do you want to go on the comments and ask me all the questions that you might want to ask here on YouTube? Because I see some people coming to ask me on Facebook. So I have this much money. Like, why don't you want to watch the entire video? Unataka tu shortcut, yeah? Watch the video here on YouTube till the end. Like, watch from the start to the end and ask me the questions in the comments, because I want it to be as engaging as possible. And yeah, make sure your questions are very specific and like inaitwaje, quantitate your questions. Like kama uko na questions, like make it very specific, niulize. So if I want to come to Canada, how much is an approximate rent? Like kitu kama hiyo, unaelewa? Like I don't know if it makes sense. Like for say for example, for the city that you live in, hapo inaweza nisaidia kukuonini what is the minimum wage in Saskatchewan. Hapo inaweza nisaidia kukujibu how many hours is regular hours. Hapo inaweza nisaidia kukujibu. But if you don't make it specific, it really makes it hard. Alafu tunauliza. So I made my mistakes and I do not want people to make mistakes. That's why I came forward to assist a brother or a sister. Until next time, adios mi amors. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched from the beginning to the end, let me know what your favorite part was and what do you have questions on. I'll be very happy to assist you guys. And drop down your suggestions for the videos that you would like to see here on this channel, and you will always get feedback. Until next time, bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment on this video and all my videos. Bye guys.